Okay, great. So recap from last week. Homework, first thing to do in the morning was the positive affirmation, starting your day off on the right foot. The second thing was throughout the day, just sit and tune in and scan your body, and that benefits, you're tuning into maybe any discomfort or just how you're feeling emotionally, and paying attention and allowing your body to tell you some feedback. So the third thing was at bedtime, you wanted to state 3 things that you were grateful for. And gratitude is so important. Again, you are at the end of the day and you're laying down to rest, you're going to end on a gratitude, a positive motion, right? So that's very important. You want to start the day out with positivity. You want to end with positivity. And the extra credit was to recall your day sequentially, like from when you got up to when you went to bed, to build up your attention span and your memory recall. We know that when we're under attack and we are getting hit with frequencies and radiation, it is common for us to kind of blank out and lose some of the details. They really do attack in on the short-term memory and that brain fog. So you could also, help yourself as well when you get really important, like let's say that you have an idea that is something that is going to lead you into wellness or positivity or action, or just something that you really need to pay attention to. Write it down. Keep some Post-it notes or a notebook right away, things that are very important that you want to recall, because sometimes with the frequencies and stuff, that thought can be just as quick coming in and just completely blank. So this is how you can combat it and retain some of the information that you get throughout the day, or things that you need to take action on. Maybe doing a to-do list and keeping yourself focused on that list of things that you need to accomplish. When you see that you've accomplished it and you've crossed it off, then you can see that positive action that you have taken to accomplish these things. It is a tangible visual reminder of you making progress and taking action, which builds your momentum to keep going forward. All right, well, let's kick it off. Jamie?
Hi, guys. Welcome back. Thanks for showing up. So last conference call, we discussed building the foundations for observer intelligence through the development of self-awareness, presence, and mindfulness. It's recommended that you indefinitely commit to using last week's mitigation tools daily, as they're the building blocks for all the cognitive processes and counterterrorism strategies we teach. If the desire is to move forward into rendering cognitive warfare obsolete, you must learn a whole new system of thought and program language. Ultimately, we are building a counterterrorism defense and response model of thought for overcoming mind control, cognitive warfare, electronic harassment, and AI. Developing a calm mind that can weather any storm in a chaotic world is your greatest defense. The ability to control your responses without allowing them to control you is your greatest weapon. The ability to stay composed when everything appears to be falling apart gives rise to true power. Your power to change and shift timelines lies solely in your ability to evaluate your judgments, responses, and reactions. Building sensory awareness by understanding we always have 2 choices. We can panic, freeze, react impulsively, and allow fear to consume us, or we can take accountability, breathe, remain calm, observe, reflect, manage, mitigate, and reconcile. Real strength is the ability to stay composed when everything falls apart and not allowing fear to dictate your responses or decisions. The strategic advantage lies in understanding it's not what's happening, but your response to your judgment and reaction to the response. When we react impulsively, the amygdala becomes hijacked, and we respond through fear. However, when we make the effort to work through our senses and responses, we activate the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that allows us to reason and respond properly. The science of Poli-Si offers a blueprint for developing fully developed senses and total body awareness to create the architecture for mind, brain, heart, nervous system, free will coherence. Building the cognitive architecture for this is achieved by relearning how to think, perceive, intend, sense, probe, categorize, process, discern, respond, and store data as sensory input received. By transforming information into data through energy exchange formulas, by learning how to read and discern energy in real time without distortion. We accomplish this by bringing the conscious mind online and creating equilibrium between the conscious and unconscious mind. Your power to transform exists in the ever-present now moment by releasing distortions and collapsing your responses to 0 point. Your inner speaking voice is the internal dialogue or inner monologue. It's the voice in your head that can help you emotionally regulate and prevent unwanted reactions by naming and accepting your feelings. For example, your inner monologue may say, "This really sucks. I'm a targeted individual. It pisses me off and I feel disrespected on so many levels." Then why not sit down quietly and work through my senses? If not, the inner dialogue will fan the flame and drive you into survival mechanisms that create undesirable experiences without realizing that you have the power to transform within you. When left unchecked, a negative mind will over time lead into varying degrees of mental illness, disease, chronic stress, addiction, codependency, nervous system dysfunction, and trauma. We have the power to acknowledge, mitigate, and transform all circumstances from the heart within our own structure. Sensory awareness is not just an aspect of perception. It's a frequently occurring, yet rarely recognized occurrence of inner experience. Despite its high frequency, many do not comprehend the importance of sensory awareness to even notice its appearance, let alone recognize the impact of not having it. Rediscovering an embodied felt sense of authenticity and vitality is your birthright. Sensory awareness focuses on the cultivation of an ever-deepening and expanding awareness of our sensory experience as a gateway into ourselves and into a deeper connection with the world. It is an accessible journey of truly coming home to ourselves, each other, and everything that exists. This work is experimental, and we don't have to do anything special. We are already sensing all the time. We only have to learn to build the self-awareness and pay attention to our experiences in a way that is not common to our conditioning. Understand, our senses are coded to respond to predetermined programs of the lower mind within occult systems that do not support human nature. We must learn how to navigate this electromagnetic chemical experience, having full body awareness and develop senses. Your homework is 2 parts this week. 1, familiarize yourself with the following various defense mechanisms, which you have a PDF Melissa shared in the comments, to start recognizing when you step into automatic behaviors. Without understanding these unconscious responses, we cannot take the next steps to making the necessary changes. Melissa is going to take us on a guided journey into the complexities, uncertainties, and vulnerabilities of our senses regarding being a targeted individual. Please understand this may bring up very powerful emotions. Just relax, remain calm, breathe, and allow the emotions to come up as she guides you through your emotions. The second part of your homework is project-based learning. Sit down with the meditation and read through the questions and journal your answers. Our goal is to help you build the nervous system capacity to identify, track, and move through energies. If anyone interested in discussing strategies, please reach out and we'll set up at a convenient time to speak. So.
All right. So, and I will try to be aware of new people joining and admitting them into the lobby. Since I'm going to be leading you into a meditation, yes, someone, Jane, hi, yes, you came in late, yes. The link for the download for the PDF is in the chat. I can paste it again. Hold on just a second for everybody coming in. It should be there now. So the meditation that I'm about to read is in this guide along with the homework. So don't feel overwhelmed if you're missing anything. You don't have to take notes. You know, you can make notes and then add it, you know, with the guide content. So it's very important when you start to meditate, you really want to do your very best to do some breath work. And if we could all just take some deep breaths right now, because you need to relax, you know, inhale like a great ball of glowing, you know, soothing, peaceful, loving light and energy into your lungs, and exhale all the stress. So let's do that a couple of times. Inhale the good. Light is filling you up, and exhale all the stress from the day and the week. So let's do it one more time, or two more times. Inhale. Exhale slowly. One more time. This time, before you inhale, just feel your body being supported by the chair or wherever you're sitting or laying down, and just feel so supported and trusting in this moment and in this meditation that we're going to do to help. So last one in, fill yourself up with all the light, and we're getting the exhale to release all the tension, all the stress from today and this week. Okay, so we invite you to quiet your mind, and we've done the deep breath. This time is for you, and it is for your healing. And Jamie, I saw about the roots and everything. I didn't realize all of that, but again, this is documented for everyone. So now we're going to set up a scene of sereneness for the environment. So just close your eyes for me, please, and imagine yourself standing in a peaceful, serene environment, such as a beach or a forest, or whatever that image that comes to you that brings you such serene peace. And notice the sights and the sounds and the sensations that are in this safe, sacred space for you. Now imagine a door or a gateway that is right in front of you. And as you open the door, you enter into a mental workspace that is uniquely yours. And in this space, imagine a large empty canvas or blank sheet of paper. This represents your mental workspace where you can process and release your emotions easily. And imagine the complexities and the uncertainties and vulnerabilities you've been experiencing as a targeted individual as being this dense, heavy fog that you see. And as you inhale the light, God, source energy, into your lungs. Imagine this fog entering your body. And as you exhale, imagine this fog leaving your body, and you see it dissolving in front of you into midair. And now, if you would, please repeat the following phrases out loud or internally to yourself, allowing the emotions and the physical sensations to arise and release. The statements are: I release the complexities, the uncertainties, and vulnerabilities of being a targeted individual.
The vulnerability, complexity of being a targeted individual.
Okay, and the next one is: I let go of the need to control and understand everything.
I let go and understand.
Okay, and then I surrender to the present moment, trusting that I can navigate whatever comes my way on this
Trust in the moment that I can navigate
targeted
anything that comes
individual.
my way on this journey of the target.
Let me repeat that one because that was a long one. And it's such an important one. I surrender to the present moment, trusting that I can navigate whatever comes my way
Trusting that whatever comes my way
on this journey of being a targeted individual. All right, that's such a bold statement to resonate with. So now we're going to address the underlying emotions. And just know that these are very important steps to take toward inner healing, and they can be frightening but you have to know and you have to want it more than anything else. And you got to chase it, and you have to run after it, because it's these things that come up through these exercises that this technology is beating you with, right? It's what they use to keep you latched on into the oppressive state of the mind control. So we want to imagine the deeply seated emotions that you're about to feel about being a targeted individual as being, sorry, I was reading the wrong line, pardon me. So let's...
You were right. Imagine the deep...
Okay, so was I on right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was right. Okay, let me take a deep breath here. I had walls popping and things like that, and I'm shutting that down. And this is where you can call in, God and the higher power and the universe to say, this is what I need, and I will not allow the distractions to take me away from what is best for my highest good. So now let's imagine the deeply seated emotions you feel about being a targeted individual as that dense, dark field of energy is connected to fear, anger and resentment, frustration, sadness and grief. Let's bring these emotions into your safe mental workspace for insight and clarity. So just take a moment and just feel what emotions come to you. And as you focus on each of these emotions, imagine it as a distinct entity that you can observe and interact with. So the first one that we're going to move into is the entity of fear. We invite fear to come forward and interact with us as we observe the sensations it brings up, to move it through the body. Now pay attention to the answer to these questions. So you are observing fear, your fear. What is the root cause of my overall fear about being a targeted individual? Take note of what words come to mind, how your body responds, or a sensation, or a picture flash in your mind. This is your body speaking to you, letting you know what the root cause of the overall fear of being a targeted individual. Now, repeat the following. Let me see if someone's on. If you're not on mute, if you could please mute. Okay. Repeat the following phrases. I now give myself permission to take accountability for my feelings and emotions, to release the physical symptoms associated with targeting. Now the next question is, how is fear of being a targeted individual controlling me, impacting my life and relationships? And just sit with that question and let your body, your mind respond. Next question is, what would I like to release or transform about my fears? Remember, you are working in a safe space. Your body and your mind want to be liberated from the fear. So what would you like to release or transform about your fears? And as you explore the sensations fear brings to your body, imagine it beginning to dissolve. It is going to dissolve and transform like ice melting in the sun. Visualize that fear just melting in the sun. Repeat the following phrases to yourself, allowing the emotions and physical sensations of fear to arise and release. I acknowledge and accept my fear of being a targeted individual and give myself permission to push past all blocks and barriers, keeping me from releasing the hold fear has on me. I choose to transform fear and uncertainty into courage and wisdom. And again, this is all documented in the guide presented, and you can do it at home. Fear is a big one. Now we move on to another huge one, which is the entity of anger. So you're in your safe mental workspace, and now we're going to invite in anger to come forward and interact with us so we can observe the sensations it brings up throughout our body. And let's ask anger, as an observer, what is the root cause of my anger about being a targeted individual? Make mental note or write down the words or sensations that you're feeling as a result of your observation with anger. And now ask yourself, how is the anger I feel towards being a targeted individual controlling me, impacting my life and my relationships? And next, what would I like to release or transform about my anger? Make note of what comes to mind and how your body feels.
Deborah.
Okay, we're going to. Hello, thank you for joining. I'm going to go ahead and mute you. We're in the middle of a meditation. Okay, as you explore the sensations anger brings to your body, imagine it beginning to dissolve and transform like ice melting in the sun right before your eyes. And repeat the following phrases to yourself, allowing the emotions and physical sensations of anger to arise and release. Continue breathing. Anger can come up with lots of things, so don't be restricted in your airflow. You need to inhale and exhale. Let it move through you. Now state, I acknowledge and accept my anger of being a targeted individual. I choose to let go of anger and embrace my authentic power. I release the hold anger has on me. I choose to transform anger into clarity, peace, and strength. And take some deep, deep breaths, because anger is a big one. Because we're going to be moving now into the entity of resentment. So we invite resentment to come forward in our safe, neutral space to interact with us as we observe the sensations it brings up and through the body. What is the root cause of my resentment about being a targeted individual? Make note of how your body feels. Picture flashes you might see in your mind and words that come to you. Your mind and body is letting you know what that root cause of resentment about being a targeted individual. How is my resentment of being a targeted individual controlling me, impacting my life and my relationships? Remember to breathe. Make note what comes up. What would I like to release and transform about my resentment? All the answers are within you. It's so important for us to take time to ask ourselves and our bodies for the information we need to heal. As you explore the sensations resentment brings to your body, imagine it getting to dissolve and transform right in front of you, like ice melting in the sun. Repeat the following phrases to yourself, allowing the emotions and physical sensations of resentment to arise and release. I acknowledge and accept my resentment of being a targeted individual. I now choose to release the hold resentment has over me. I choose to transform resentment through forgiveness and gratitude. Forgiveness isn't for the one that has attacked you. Forgiveness is for you and your inner peace and your healing. Gratitude is very important. You've made it this far. Be grateful for your body carrying you to this moment. To be able to participate, you're still standing. It has not defeated you. Now we're moving in to the entity of frustration. And we're going to invite frustration to come forward and interact with us as we observe the sensations that come up and through the body. What is the root cause of my frustration connected to being a targeted individual? Make note of the words, picture flashes, memories that come to mind, physical sensations. Deep breath. Inhale and exhale. You are the observer of your frustration in your safe mental space. How is my frustration of being a targeted individual impacting my life and relationships? Make note of what comes to mind. What would I like to release or transform about my frustration? And as you explore the sensations of frustration that come up and brings to your body, imagine it beginning to dissolve and transform like ice melting in the sun. And just take another deep breath and release. Repeat the following phrases to yourself, allowing the emotions and physical sensations of frustration to arise and release and let it go. I acknowledge and accept my frustration of being a targeted individual. I choose to let go of frustration, to embrace calm and composure. I release the hold frustration has on me. I choose to transform frustration into peace and presence. Deep breath in and exhale. As we move through each of these entities, our load that we carry from this experience is lightening. We are letting our body and our mind know that we don't deserve to carry this any longer, and we're willing and choose free will to let it go. The entity is sadness. We invite sadness to come forward and interact with us in our safe mental workspace. And we observe the sensations that come up and through the body. What is the root cause of my sadness connected to being a targeted individual? Make note of words, sensations, memories, picture flashes. Your body is letting you know the root cause of your sadness connected to being a targeted individual. Now ask yourself, how does my sadness of being a targeted individual impact my life and my relationships? What would I like to release or transform from my sadness? Deep breath. Exhale. As you explore the sensation sadness brings to your body, imagine it beginning to dissolve and transform right before your eyes, like ice melting in the sun. Repeat the following phrases to yourself, allowing the emotions and physical sensations of sadness to arise and release. I acknowledge and accept my sadness of being a targeted individual. I choose to let go of the sadness and embrace honesty and self-compassion. I release the hold sadness has on me. I choose to transform sadness into hope and resilience. Take a deep breath in and release and let go. Now it's time for the entity of grief. We invite grief to come forward in our safe mental workspace to observe the sensations that come up and through the body. What is the root cause of my grief connected to being a targeted individual? Make notation of what words, sensations, memories, picture flashes come to mind. Your body is telling you what the root cause of grief connected to being a targeted individual. Now ask yourself, how is my grief impacting my life and relationships? Deep breaths, slow exhale. What would I like to release or transform about my grief? Make note what comes up. As you explore the sensations of grief that brings to your body, imagine it beginning to dissolve and transform like ice melting in the sun right before your eyes. Repeat the following phrases to yourself, allowing the emotions and physical sensations of grief to arise and release. Like the waves of the ocean, they come up and they push out and they expand. And state to yourself, I acknowledge and accept my grief of being a targeted individual. And I choose to let go of grief and embrace my fire. I just had to pause for that because it's so powerful. Let me repeat this. I acknowledge and accept my grief of being a targeted individual. I choose to let go of grief and embrace my fire. I release the hold grief has on me. Deep breath in, slow exhale. I choose to transform grief into authentic power and purpose. We were working with some very big entities there, and we reviewed them as observer mode. They're teaching us what lies within the subconscious that needs to be let go and released and healed. So now we're going to do integration and closure. Again, take a few deep breaths and allow yourself to integrate all the insight and emotions that arose during this journey. Just inhale in the transformative light, healing and love, and exhale. Much release, much release. Your load is getting lighter and lighter from this journey. Again, take another deep breath in, integrating and exhaling from the work of this journey. Now imagine yourself being back in the peaceful environment from the beginning of the journey. And notice how you feel now compared to when you started. Remember that this mental workspace is always available to you whenever you need to process and release emotions and triggers, responses. Now repeat the following phrases to yourself, feeling the truth of the words in your heart and in your mind. I am safe. I am loved. I am supported in the ever-present now moment through my authenticity. I am capable of navigating any challenge that comes my way. It's important to practice this guided flow regularly to address your underlying emotions, to reinforce the release of complexity, uncertainty, and your vulnerability. All right, so would anyone like to come off of mute and share anything that came up during this experience. And again, this is a lot, and you don't have to remember all of it because it's documented for you. And the link is in the chat. I will also, as a follow-up to this meeting, I will send out the PDF to everyone that expressed interest, whether they were able to join or not. Things come up, so not everybody can join. I will also send the video recording of the session as well. So anyone would like to share what they experienced with these questions and what their body was trying to state, and either singular words or phrases or memories or flashes. And if you don't wish to share, because this is deep work, this is deep inner work, then that's okay too.
I'll share something. For frustration, a lot of unexpressed emotions and unexpressed, unprocessed trauma, which has just kind of led me to shut down and just kind of feel stuck and like unable to make decisions and like, what do I do? What do I not do? So being able to like self-express and just really allow myself to feel and get into my body, I feel will transform that. So yeah, that was a big one for me. I would say the main one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
So for me, I still always go back with the questions, and I always answer the questions. It's like I wouldn't say stuck in disbelief, but it's still so unbelievable and shocking and unfair. The sadness and the grief of it. It's just unbelievable that this would be happening.
And I think that's what makes this community so special, is we have this resilience about us to keep standing amongst the trauma that this experience had brought on. But we're turning things around for ourselves with the inner healing work that we need to do. And you have to understand that inner healing is like layers of an onion. Unfortunately, there's just not one meditation, one singular meditation that can make it all go away. You have to know that the conditioning of your mind, the program, the programming can come from when you were born, and your beliefs of your parents and the struggles that they had, your grandparents, your ancestry line of the patterns of trauma and circumstances, and that you innately just inherit. But then you have the societal programming and such, and then you have significant events that have happened to you and along the way, even before the targeting experience. So this work is a tool to peel back those layers. And every layer you peel back is in victory, meaning that you are making progress. Your energy is shifting every time you choose yourself to release what you should never have to carry in this trauma that has been forced upon you. And you're telling your body and you're allowing yourself and creating the space to let it go. These are things that do us no no good to cling on to and drag with us, and the weight that we carry on our shoulders and our backs and the luggage that we're carrying along and we're tethered to. We are creating the space for transformation, for healing, and for blessings to come toward us. We're creating that space in order for us to, our cup is full and running over just by being in the experience of being a targeted individual. We have got to let out that cup of that's overflowing to put the good and attract, magnetically attract in new experiences and the good that we deserve. We deserve to be healed, and we deserve to let this go and to transmute and transform this energy. And it takes practice, it takes dedication. You need to want and desire this more than anything. You've got to chase your healing. You've got to tackle it, right? You've got to create the time and the space no matter what. You've got to put yourself in your healing first, because what we go through on a daily basis is commanding this. And when you do inner work, then of course it upsets the evil, right? It tips that counter of the good, right? It's going to counter you, and you're going to say, not today, because my healing, I deserve my healing, and I'm going to do this work. And I'm not going to cling on to this anger, frustration, and this grief and this trauma anymore, because I'm going to co-create with God and the universe, and I'm going to move these mountains out of my life. I'm going to free myself from the oppressive chains and tethers and tentacles of these mind control programs that are using our own suffering and emotions and what we've gone through in our life to attack us. So this work is so important. I know as I was saying through this, and I'll give my example, I noticed due to time constraints in my life, I have the Chosen Hero podcast, I'm working, and I want to do so much for the community. So I have to catch myself in the moments of the control part of it, and in controlling, you're suppressing things from coming forward and releasing. Because it's like, I can't think about that right now. I need to do this, 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 and this. So I have to catch myself, and I need to sit down and breathe and allow the space for my body to release and to process this. Every day we're consuming more and more, knowledge and information about these technologies and what's out there, while the world is just now figuring out that something's amiss. So energetically, we got to, protect and shield our energy and our mental, faculties, and to just hone in on our own space to allow this movement to occur. So, bless Jamie for documenting this down, because it really does help us understand what we're holding on to, that our body, our soul, and our mind are trying to say, hey, we need to let this go. Because, when you unlock one door, there's another door right there for you, waiting for you to do the work for it to unlock. And we're just going to keep going through this gauntlet, right, of our healing. Because our healing is the kryptonite of mind control technology. And we're building our mental resilience and awareness and allowing our body to guide us and our subconscious to guide us to the next layer that we need to release and bring up and to let go. Would anybody else like to share from their experience?
I will. I just want to say this is my first time being on this program, and this is exactly what I was looking for. I truly believe that there's something to what we did today, and if we are consistent with it, this program, it will help to relieve a lot, and I do believe that eventually perhaps it's not even going to bother us. And I want to thank you for hosting this. I'm looking forward to joining each and every time you have this. Thank you.
I appreciate the feedback. This stuff is an inside job, right? It's inside here. And they're using what's inside of us to torture us. So let's release and transform. Then the grips will release, and it just takes persistence. There's many forms of shielding. There's the physical shielding, but the mental shielding is very important to mind control. Because they are trying their best to hack into the central nervous system and our brains. But we are system override. We have the reset button. Jamie, you were going to say something?
Yes, we are command and control of our own mind. So ultimately, we're building a counterterrorism defense and response model of thought for overcoming mind control, cognitive warfare, electronic harassment, and AI. This is investigative, scientific-based work. It's tedious work. And what we're doing right now is building the foundations to get rolling. So it's going to be like the Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. You're going to think, why am I doing this? This is ridiculous. This is boring. But this is the work. Connecting with the self, coming into the senses, being able to identify where attacks are coming from. Is it internal? Is it external? Being able to locate the thoughts that you were thinking about, building the attention span. We cannot move forward into the meat and potatoes of this course until we get these basics down, because we're going to be learning 4 steps that we're going to use for everything and 1 formula, but we can't do that until we have self-awareness, presence, mindfulness, build the observer intelligence, be able to observe emotions, start connecting to the dots to the feelings that we're having and the emotions that are attached to the feelings, the patterns in our life, the relationships, the things that we don't enjoy doing. For example, what the woman just said, it is definitely possible to override this and thrive as a targeted individual. Am I going to say that it's enjoyable? No. But we do build the nervous system up to a capacity where it's just another day, as if you were feeling a little bit down. I've been under attack since 12:30 last night. I have not slept since 12:30. I have not been able to go to the bathroom. I was laughing with Melissa. I did an enema this morning because that's what happens. I get so, bogged up, and right now I'm blocked in my heart right now. So it's just moving through it. It's okay. I'm telling you this, but I don't go around complaining about it. I don't, I just deal with it. I manage it. I manage and mitigate and transform.
Yep.
And once you get to understanding how mind control functions, the minds in the past or future thinking, we can better start to develop the present moment awareness. But so in this PDF that you're going to have are going to be the cognitive processes or responses, like repression, projection. I'd like everybody to get a feel for the definitions, because that way, moving forward, they'll be able to entertain the idea when they better understand the definition of these behaviors. Because we are stepping into deflective and repressive states all day long. without our awareness. We need to bring the subconscious up. And the best way to do that is by identifying your emotions. When you've become triggered, what your triggers are, learning how to get ahead of your triggers, again, mitigating and transforming them. You cannot fix anything until you identify the root cause. So you're anchored into emotions. This is really heavy stuff. And I promise you, if you could sit down for 10, even if it's 10 minutes a day, and sit with being a targeted individual, sit with your anger, your frustration, your resentment, your grief and sadness, you will make headway. You will also learn how to read energies. What does it feel like, anger versus frustration? It's all interconnected, but when we break it down and isolate it, we can better understand. And I promise you, we will get rolling here if we can get enough people to, work these steps, make headway. And please feel free to reach out. It's Andy, Emily, and I are willing to have our conversations with people. We can isolate it, work through these processes, or just have a little meet and greet about the processes that we offer and how we do things.
And Jamie, you kind of cut out just a little bit, but again, for those that this is the first time that you're joining the call, Angie and Emily and Jamie are offering free hour session to help, get the ball rolling for you and answer questions and to give you guidance. So this is a blessing to our community, because the inner work is the way out of mind control. Because if you're cleaning out your closet of garbage and you don't have anything left in there, then what are they going to do? They have nothing that, they could come at you with that you're like, yeah. So right now it may seem like, like Jamie said, that it's building the bigger picture. Right now we're in the wax on, wax off, but there's a reason for it. We're building our resistance. And something that came to mind was it's easy for targeted individuals because especially those who get the auditory effect of V2K, it's almost like you want to not even think because it's going to be stolen. I went through that whole kind of phase of, how dare you invade my thoughts and my privacy and all of this stuff. But what I was doing in that moment was suppressing it. Like I was trying to suppress my emotions because I did not want it to be intercepted, right? But we have to allow ourselves to the space in order to let things come up. And if you suffer from the auditory stuff and they want to use it to gaslight you, just recognize it as the pattern going, hey, you're going to turn that around going, I'm allowing this to process for myself because it's my inner healing. And I'm claiming it as a victory. So, because if it doesn't, if the V2K or the AI doesn't get the result that it wants, then it has to move on to something else. So remember that. I just recalled that from my own personal experience, and you got to let it flow. You got to let those things flow. Building concentration, doing exercises on concentration is also something. And there is a method, I can't remember the name of it, but it's something like this. Pick one thing that you need to do and focus on it for 15 minutes. Make sure your phone and anything else, get all your distractions. I know that harassment is a distraction, but you got to tune that out. Focus on it. Set a timer, 15 minutes. Focus on it. Give yourself a 10-minute break. Go back to it if it's a task that takes some time. And 15 on, 10 off. And you're building the muscle of your concentration. So for those because it's easily to get scattered when you're overwhelmed, and you're having all of the flying monkeys around, but you're focusing in on that one thing, and it makes a difference, and it helps you build the retention. Sometimes I get into where I'm going off on one thing, I'm going to do the one thing, and it's like a chain reaction. I go to that one, then I jump to this, then I jump to that, then I circle back to the original, go back, This is where you have to catch yourself going, oh, look, I'm in a spin. I'm in a scattered spin. I need to sit down. I need to focus on one and knock it out. And that's one thing that you can do, with these types of, these are some heavy emotions. And if we don't deal with them, then they become splintered, fragmented parts of ourselves. And they just build momentum. And that's, if you can look up, Carl Jung and the shadow self. These are the rejected parts of ourself. Like, we don't want to have time to deal with that right now, so we're just going to push it off to the side. So this kind of work right here helps that with the integrating and allowing the space of these. We get upset with ourselves because we're angry. We get upset with ourselves because we feel sad. Don't be upset. Just allow it to have that safe space. And this exercise from today allows us to create that safe space so that we are integrated and whole and we are healing. Would anyone else like to share anything or have any questions? I know this was a lot of heavy stuff. It's a lot to process. And
you have the Telegram
yes,
chat group now. You set that up, right?
I did.
I'm posting everything on there. I'm on Substack. All my writings are on there, the targeted individual plans. I'm going to put a lot of stuff in Telegram. And if anybody has questions, reach out. Let's start a buddy system, get people connected.
Hi, how can we get on the Telegram? Can you post something in the chat, or do you need to have our contact information, or?
Yes, I'm going to drop in the link for the Telegram. Now, this is to the TI combat training group, so it's just us. Everything is about this inner work and the healing work and the exercises and questions and community. And like Jamie said, we are, a buddy system, support. So let me
questions. If I don't respond right away and it requires, a lengthy response, I'm just going to say, call me. It's just easier to talk. But if it's something I think everybody needs to see, I'll sit down and write out a well-thought comment to try to answer.
Okay, I've got the link. This is going to be for the Telegram group. And thank you, Dorothy, for that great suggestion.
Yeah, so just to recap, what Poli-Si is offering is the ability to create mind, brain, heart, nervous system, free will coherence through a process that we created for creating a cryptographic mind, a cyber-secured neural network, and energy mapping system. This is an entirely new language. You're going to learn the language of energy, okay? We're going to learn through psychology, neuroscience, spirituality, quantum mechanics, and multidimensional physics, and a little bit of philosophy. So I've pulled in a lot of perspectives to bring this one perspective through, which are processes that I've been working on for 20 years. So I feel as if I was being prepared for this, and I'm going to share my targeting experience of how it began, but I really believe that it began when I was a small child, because I've always had obsessive compulsive, which I didn't even realize that until many years later, but thoughts coming in that my mom was going to be murdered, visions of my home burning down, just really dark things at a very early age. So I was able to go back through trauma healing and identify when these energies surfaced. They're occult energies, and they're a doozy. It's trauma, radiation poisoning. We are literally releasing trauma, but we have to set the stage and do the groundwork to be able to do it. Because believe it or not, you have to be prepared for trauma release. It's not something that you could just do. It could drop any man on his knees and take him out of the game, releasing trauma. So it's something that has to be done slowly over time through the healing process. And the methods we use are inner child healing and shadow integration. As we heal and recognize our emotions, we identify the attachment, the entity attachment, and then we just start releasing the program within ourself, within our own structure. So it's very involved. It's very science-based. Everything can be proven, and it's not something that we're asking you to take our word on anything. You are doing the work. You are going to do the investigative work. And when you start feeling the effects of releasing these emotions that, quite frankly, you're trapped beneath, keeping you stuck in this program, once you start releasing from that, you're going to have a completely new outlook on life. You're going to step into your soul mission, and you're going to be part of the solution. No more victim here. We are not victims. We are thriving and surviving as a targeted individual. Okay? Is it hard? Absolutely. But there is no greater work or reward coming to you. But you're going to have to go through some illogical ways of thinking for a little while. Non-judgment, non-attachment, and non-expectation are the processes we use. We use non-dual awareness, but not in the sense of just to help us identify where the polarities, the distortions exist within us that need to be healed through the shadow work. So, yeah. Does anybody have any questions or?
Hi, Jamie. This is Michelle. I'm in California. Are you? Is My Purpose counseling you?
Sorry, what?
Is I've on the internet? Is My Purpose counseling you? Oh, there's someone named Jamie Rice that does she does counseling and reclaiming. It's just talking about basically counseling. So I just didn't know if that was you or not.
It is me. I offer free counseling for. We do a consult, and first I have to see if we're a good fit. See what the language you speak is, but yeah, I'm willing to help with counseling.
Oh, okay. And how do we contact you?
I just put the email in the free. If you're interested in the hour session that Jamie is offering, and Angie,
and that you said that was in the chat.
Yes, quantumrealitystudies@yahoo.com.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm sorry, I kind of have been going in and out of this call, so if I missed it, I apologize that you have to repeat it.
No worries.
Okay, I'll send you a message, Jamie. Thank you.
And I really want to hear from people, in the Telegram chat about implementing the strategies, what your experiences were, what you came up against, how you maneuvered through it.
I'm sorry. I just went on there and added you, but you can't write anything right now.
Hold on.
I can't send a message.
Let me see.
It won't let me either.
It just says mute or unmute.
There's no option to write in there.
Yeah, that's wow.
So I can tell you how to get to the chat. Once you're on the channel, then you go to the upper right corner where there's the 3 dots. Click on that and go to View Discussion, and that will bring you to the chat. I posted 3 videos, and Jamie's posted some amazing things for today to read.
I don't see those. When I do that, when I go on the 3 dots, it just says unmute, search, report, or leave channel.
Like a basket there, or like a message window somewhere on the screen. You click on that. That's what I had to do.
And I'm trying to look on my end to see if there was anything about, I think 7 subscribers.
Yeah, I still can't do anything. I don't know what it is. Oh, I get it now. Oh, what you do is you go on, for the people that can't, on where the 3 dots are, it's not the 3 dots. It's a little bit to the left of it. There's a little icon. You hit that and then hit the message button.
Yeah.
Or you'll be stuck out of it.
I want to hear, how you guys are making out with these processes. I'd like to hear dialogue, interaction. That's what we need. Targets need support and examples of how people maneuvered through with success.
Anyone else have any questions? I will be sending out a recap email for today's discussion along with the PDF that was created. The link is there. You can download it from there. I will still send that out. I will also make sure to include the Telegram information as well. We, Saturdays, and everybody just dealing with their day-to-day targeting experience, there was people who were not able to attend, but they will still receive that information. And, having these as tools for all TI, the whole entire TI community, this is how we counter what is being done to us. Just remember that the reason why they focus in on the trauma and our repressed emotions and fears and phobias and grief and anger and guilt and shame and all of that stuff it's because when you are engulfed in those emotions, that makes you more controllable and vulnerable. So just know that when you're heavily under attack, you're building up that mental resilience going, not today, I see the game. And then you go into your own countermeasures. But just the recognition alone, it's so powerful to just cut through it. Because running that, okay, yeah, here we go with this, and be like, no, not today, no. And I know sometimes it's easier to say it said and done, but that's what building the muscle of this resilience is all about, and it's our healing too. It's a win-win. When we heal ourselves, we raise the global vibration on this earth for others.
We stop consenting.
Yes. Yes, we cannot consent to this violence being done to us. We cannot. It is something that is being forced upon us, and we do not consent. We are taking a stand. We're going to build our firm boundaries that protect us and for our highest good, which is our inner work and our countermeasures. Well, this was a great discussion. I know it's a lot of heavy detail, but again, the follow-up email will be going out right after this call as a recap for everyone. And we'll be meeting again. The next date is going to be, let me get to my calendar. It's going to be the 26th of April, same time, same back channel. You don't have to Messenger. It's the same number. Okay? And then, looking at the mind control. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you.
Yes, and anyone who has questions,
Yeah, thank you.
just send an email to Jamie, quantumrealitystudies@yahoo.com, or if you have any questions for me, chosen_heroes@proton.me.
Annie, hold on one sec.
Sure. Michelle, did you have a question? Parker, did you have a question?
No.
All right. I'm not sure if she was speaking to us or maybe just environmental. All right, everyone. If there's nothing else, we're going to say we're closed for today, and then we will see you on the 26th again. Again, take advantage of the group channel for the TI combat training, and we'll answer questions there. We'll be dropping more content. If you're going through an exercise, then and you have a question come up, or if you have things that you feel that you want to explore in a future session, or just anything, just reach out. Remember, we're here to lift one another up as we're going through our inner healing journey. And bless each and every one of you, and thank you.
I have a question real quick.
Sure.
If there's still time.
Yes. Mhm.
I may have missed it because I missed the earlier part of the meeting, but I was going to ask Jamie to expedite building your electricity in your body. What's the best breath work and meditation exercise to get that started? For like building your electricity and biofield.
So movement, music. Really, I do pretty much everything through my mind, identifying things, making connections, and then I decide, do I need to move? Sometimes I just need to get up and move. I don't know if that answers your question.
Sorta. Is there any specific meditation or breath work that you do when you do it?
Well, what I'm leading you guys into is kind of, I think, what you're talking about. We have the mind, brain, heart, nervous system, free will, coherence architecture, which teaches us how to bring in energy, transform it, and release it. But that's the process that we're building up to. It's not something that you could comprehend in one. You could call, this is Faye, right?
Yeah.
So call me and I'll walk you through it.
Okay.
Next Wednesday or whenever. I'm sorry,
Okay.
should I not say what I just said?
Oh, I don't know. The sound cut out. I don't have bad sound. I didn't hear it.
We'll work through it on Wednesday.
Okay.
And I'll show you what I do.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone. You have a great day.
Thank you all.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.